Hermanito.
Glorious conditions at the Santiago Bernabeu for Deportivo Alaves. A few smiles on their face, but will they be able to hold on? You see that actually the number 7 they're trying to unveil. It is the 25th anniversary of the passing of the legendary Juanito. Real Madrid star honored around Spain this weekend. And now out onto this glorious pitch. Bill Shane, Ray Hudson with you as we look in the bird's eye view. Alaves have been flying high this season, Ray. But this might be a perch too far. But if there is ever a time to take on the league leaders, why not after an international date?
Well, as you say, Phil, Juanito being absolutely memorialized in a very special way by these very special fans in this very special stadium. Magnificent setting. And you're right, Real Madrid come in here red hot favorites against a team that's been performing extremely well. And this is what the great Royal Whites will come at the Basque boys with.
Mentioned there are several players being rested. There is, of course, international play for Real Madrid on the horizon, one of the reasons, but quite a few new faces. Kroos back into that holding midfield position, but it still will be the BBC up front. 61 degrees, mostly sunny skies, low humidity, just a light breeze from the north, but you'd be hard-pressed to find it down pitch level. Alfonso Fernandez and Florentino Perez exchanging pleasantries before the kickoff as the two captains out at midfield. Pepe and Manu Garcia. Jose Maria Sanchez, the man with the whistle here today. Miguel Martinez, Jose Gallego running the lines, and Victor Rivas is the fourth official. Fernando Pacheco, another one of Iker's deputies. In fact, a former teammate of Kiko Casilla for a couple of seasons. Bit of a different look here today for Alaves. In fact, if you believe some of the reports, it could be 5 in the back with Coquero doing some duty out wide along with Theo Hernandez, while Deverson, the 25-year-old Brazilian, causing headaches in the attack. And there is a picture that many fans recall fondly. The celebration, passing away in a car crash before he had even turned 40. Saw it yesterday. Atletico Madrid also honoring him, a former Madridista. Gomez, Juanito, former Malaga Atleti, but really it was Real Madrid, nearly 300 games. The shadows almost on top of the players. The sun still high. Jose Maria Sanchez about to get us underway. And we are the sky blue and white of Alaves attacking from right to left. The Royal Whites of Real Madrid, looking for their 21st victory of this La Liga campaign, defending the goal towards the left. And it is Toquero playing a little deeper role, former Athletic Bilbao man, back with his native Alaves. Almost stolen away. In fact, it is. And a quick lightning strike from Ronaldo.
Wonderful reach in there by Modric and sets the table up with his first touch. Wonderful intervention here from Luka. Reads him like nursery rhyme book. And he stabs this. This is not just a win, this is a pass. That's absolutely amazing from Modric. And he cannot believe that he doesn't hit the target. But again, don't underestimate that tackle by him. It was an absolute intervented pass.
Cristiano Ronaldo and Daverson are players to watch. Brought to you by the new Just for Grey Control GX. The first shampoo that gradually reduces gray. And Cristiano Ronaldo continues to rewrite his history book. Daverson in some ways just starting to blossom on loan from Levante. And he seems to have found a team that plays his style. Isco getting the start here today. Mentioned there are several players being rested. Marcelo, one of them. Navas in goal. James and Sergio Ramos. Well, Casemiro suspended for this match. Over on the far side, Edgar Mendez, former Real Madrid youth player, loses his footing. So Casillas steps into the net. Varane returns from injury next to Pepe, while Danilo and Nacho will be the outside backs. Back towards midfield. Enjoying the sunshine.
Well, it's a much needed rotation, Phil, this game, but certainly you cannot take anything for granted against this team. It's having another wonderful season after coming up as champions of the second division. He knows that this will have to be earned here today, but Real Madrid got a brutal month coming up in which they will play an almighty lot of games. It's 9 matches in the next 30 days, but Zidane says it's fantastic. He's relishing the challenge. He's got the squad, and he's going to need to massage it and rotate it, and we'll get the first example of what rotation brings here today against a team that's been feisty and been getting good results. This is a team that went into Barcelona's Camp Nou and turned them over, and beaten them. And there's been other great results that they've established as well.
It has been a fine year for squads from the Basque Country. All 4 of the top flight sides from the Basque Country in the top 10. Here's Benzema.
Nicely
laid back. Benzema tries to sweep it through, but Toquero on defense.
Toquero comes across from that wide position, and there, smiling Frenchie. There's a lovely give and go with Cristiano, but as you said, Toquero saw that the 4 men on the interior of him were getting bamboozled, comes across and saves the bacon.
Actually got started as a winger, moved to a center forward role, reserved for Athletic, but now back doing some defensive duties. Brought down nicely, Danilo. Decent cross, but it comes down with a little snow on it. Brought back out wide. Isco. Kalo trying to keep pace. Kalo again. Almost by Isco, but poked free, and now a long ball out. A bit of a foot race. Kiko Casillas showing he's got some wheels.
Well, as much got wheels as good anticipatory senses. That's a great ball. He's onside. Look out!
And he's got help in the middle in Bale. Benzema tries to find the Welshman, stepped up by Fidal.
It's just a split second too late, and he says his apologies to the Welsh fire-breathing dragon.
Cross over everyone and out, and a chance to catch their breath.
Right there, we saw Benzema just hesitate for a split second. Gareth Bale was wide open. Here's the earlier exchanges. A beautiful turn, lovely give and go by Danilo, and another give and go. And then Toquero's big size 10 boot comes and saves his team. The good manipulation, this Mauricio Pellegrino. He's brought in the likes of Toquero, who everybody remembers for his wonderful days at Athletic Club, is an out-and-out forward. And a good one at that, converting him into a deep-sitting wing-back sort of player. He'll be staying at home in the early goings in this game, Phil. They'll need him.
Leading with the elbow. Daverson finding out.
Chances to get forward later on in the game, and the athleticism for still a man, 32-year-old Aguero. Real Madrid starting really brightly.
By Fidal. Daverson getting his head involved, battling with defense now. A takedown as Isco stumbles. Mentioned the victory against Barcelona. Also knocked off Celta 1-0 recently, and a victory over Pellegrino's old Valencia. But the first match between these two, Real Madrid with a hat-trick from Cristiano Ronaldo and a comfortable 4-1 win.
Alaves beat Villarreal as well, Phil, on the road. So this is a team that does it their way.
It has advanced all the way to the cup final.
Such a great advertisement for Spanish football. This team that's been promoted. It's a small, tiny little club in the Basque Country, battling away against all of the brighter lights, but they're very, very admired. And what they do with their modest cloth, they've made a nice suit out of it. It is really challenging.
Almost as small as Eibar, by the way.
They got draws at Atletico Madrid and Athletic Bilbao. And this is a team that travels well.
10th in the table. Sociedad leading the Basque sides in 5th, but then Athletic 7th, Eibar 8th, and Deportivo, again, a promoted side in the top 10 in arguably the best league on earth.
Love the fact that Zidane saying that this month isn't going to be brutal. His word was tremendo. I don't need a Spanish interpreter for that one. He's looking forward to it. He's absolutely anticipating great battles.
Stripped, Toquero in. Apologies as he brings down Benzema.
It takes something to bring down Benzema, and that man's capable of it. Two Baldies battling.
Different look with Kroos in the back. A competent, if not a good job in that holding midfield spot, but there is that question when Casemiro's not out there as to whether Real is at its best. Let's see if Alaves can take advantage. 9th minute ago.
Casemiro holding his form for his country as well, playing very well in the resurgent Brazil.
Marcelo getting a chance to watch today after they were the first team to clinch a spot. As you can see already, maybe a bit of concern loosening up on the sideline. Dani Carvajal. The burst of speed laid into the middle, but maybe a blind pass straight to Manu Garcia. Daverson couldn't adjust.
First game back after the international breaks, always a little strange for the players. Got out of that well nicely, didn't he? Young lad, Camarasa, 22-year-old, a lot of ability.
Starting to get a look-see from Lopetegui and the full Spanish national team.
Yeah, so much ability he's got.
Pepe soars. Manu brings it down.
Brave football. Beautiful little nutmeg there.
Moving on a low angle all the way to Casillas. No real problem on the hop.
Another look at Camarasa there earlier with that beautiful little nutmeg. There's going to be a change here. Phil Varane goes down. Wow, let's hope it's not that reoccurring injury that's plagued him throughout his brilliant young career.
You can see, I think it looks like from the hand gestures, Zidane telling him stay inside. Normally the right back, but he's going to have to play more in the center.
Well, as he goes off, there's no sign of anything like a hamstring or This is strange. I didn't see any real hard challenge in the opening 10 minutes for Varane, so maybe there was a little bit of concern in he's getting the information from his boss.
Ray, I was going to ask you, is this a gamble too far? It's a top 10 team. He's already missing Casemiro, and he elects to sit 4 of his starters. One of them, Sergio Ramos, who would be needed right about now if he had his choice.
It's fair comment, Phil. It is Real Madrid. They have been on international breaks. Sergio Ramos has been put through the ringer as well. You cannot have it both ways. People like you complain when they don't get rested, and then when they get rested, you're still complaining.
They've switched Danilo to the left. Ball inside, deflected away. Nacho is back to his native inside position.
Nacho, so comes across and locks up Camarasa. Tremendous wide player, lovely fizzy ball, but Camarasa just cannot extend his toenails. Just another quarter of an inch to get that kiss on the ball and take it past Kiko.
In the corner, cleared away, top of the box. Modric not able to come on the end of that one.
Oh, unlucky.
Kroos not too happy about it. So again, the back line.
By Gomez was a little bit unfortunate there, not to be able to nudge it by Pepe, as he would have been in and around that corner, but well read by Pepe. As you said, Phil, adjustment to the back line, it's never the best thing for a team or the coach to watch. You don't want to fool with that chemistry that's been established even early in this game.
Ronaldo.
Magic!
Benzema, and a good step in by Theo Hernandez.
Well, he gets presented with the ball as much as a good step in. The ball in is beautiful from Ronaldo, and it's a brilliant turn from Benzema, but it just squirts away from him. And Alaves got a little bit fortunate there, because if Big Benz had been just that little bit cleaner with his touch, that was danger. Look
Good
at
ball, Ibai sliding in. Mendes going up against Nacho, his former youth teammate. Down he goes, but not much to it, says the referee, who had a good
I'll tell
eye.
you what, the number 6, Nacho, comes across on Edgar, and there's hand contact on it, but he plays on, and then he goes down. The referee's correct in not awarding the penalty, but initially, Phil, there's definitely contact on the player.
Those two. As we take another look
It's
from
a
the
great
reverse
turn
angle.
here, wonderful turn, and then he's definitely going down too easy, but right there, he's holding him clearly.
Teammates for 3 or 4 years down at the Castilla. Watch out, Mendes with a good shot. We've seen it so far this year a couple of times. Back for Kroos. Rahal with Ronaldo now on the right. Modric leans that way to the inside, but his pass not sharp enough. Straight to Vidal. Daverson stays in play, and now Carvajal with the push on Hernandez.
This referees, it's very similar to what took place in the penalty box. Like it or lump it, that's what we're looking at, and this one is given. I think it's more for the clip as anything against Carvajal. Was holding upstairs as well. They attack quickly, don't they?
Only from Atleti. Hangs it high in the air. Kiko thought about it, slips. They can't get the shot, and now Casilla reclaims the ball and his footing. It was dangerous.
Good header at the back post from Zohair Fidal. The big Moroccan international is the target, and he is found. Lovely little knockdown header by him. Good set piece. Oh, what a pass.
Danilo now on that left flank. Good ball in. Benzema steps over, drives, and sends it over the crossbar.
Beautiful football from Real Madrid. Right from the back, the crossfield ball is spectacular. And it arrives at Danilo, and he finds Big Ben's, but he just cannot keep his balance around the ball here and get a right drive through it. Very difficult ball to hit like that when you're running virtually square, possibly away from the goal. Adjust your body like that and turn it and get it on target. Extremely difficult. Good lead up, wasn't it? Beautiful crossfield pass to find Danilo.
He's stolen away. Ronaldo and decked by Rodrigo Eli. It will be a foul and a card. Better than the alternative.
The Brazilian-born man knows he's got to take her by the tail. And there's teeth at the other end with Cristiano Ronaldo, and he ain't taking any chances. He gets pickpocketed here. Cristiano's off to the races like a teenager in a hot rod, but Eli says he shall not pass. And Gareth will line this one up.
More for the left footer. Ronaldo not arguing, and Bale from about 23 yards out, dead center. Pacheco trying to make sure that ball in perfect position. It might not matter. Almost the mirror image of the Cristiano pose. Lining it up, striking at Bale, but it never quite turned the corner.
Well-won free kick, and Cristiano passing the baton to the Welsh.
Away from home, Ray, but only 2 losses in their last 13 away from home.
Yeah.
In all competitions, Alaves, no fluke.
Certainly, and it's good for them to know that basically they're safe. Bad giveaway here, though.
Camarasa dispossessed, and
nice
it's Isco.
Good ball.
Now Bale, but it's on his right.
Nice touch.
Tries to sneak it across, but a good tackle by Fidal.
Well, excellent defending by Deportivo Alaves. Isco, the ball carrier. This is where, for me, he shines in so many ways, and is an understated gift of that man there, the little bearded, bandy-legged beauty. He takes on his players originally. He breaks the lines, Phil.
Goes from the corner. Coquero got there first. Little Luca reclaims possession. Whistled across. Daverson back on defense. Good bring down by Mendez, but he was surrounded by White. Danilo calmly plays it back. In case you missed it early on, Dani Carvajal's break lasted all of 10 minutes as Rafa Varane needed to exit.
The Real Madrid fans will be a little anxious about that injury, Phil. It's a strange looking one, and walked off under his own power. Certainly didn't feel comfortable. We're going to need him coming up in this month. As great as a substitute as this man is, and Sergio Ramos, and what a great tandem they are.
Back by Ronaldo, Modric wide. Benzema now on the chalk, driving at Coquero. Coquero with the touch, but it carries for Danilo. Whistles through the box. Blasted by Carvajal, but he got underneath it.
Cannot resist this one. Doesn't that happen very often for these attacking wing-backs, where they see this ball coming across to them on a red carpet? Wonderful play by Benzema. Danilo pulls it back for anybody in particular, and the straight through. Carvajal, not exactly how we imagined it, but couldn't resist. Couldn't blame him.
Mendez tried to control it, couldn't find Ibai. Back to Carvajal. Didn't really limp off, did Varane? He's been bouncing back from a hamstring injury, and I just seemed to be maybe a tweak.
Yeah, that's the concern. If it is just that, seemed to be some reaction from the Real Madrid players when he was on the field telling them what it is. But yeah, maybe right, Phil. Maybe just precautionary with the big games that they've got coming up in this month, man. Big games for Real Madrid. Why this squad was decorated with that Aladdin Cave type talent. They got Bayern Munich coming to town, and of course Atletico Madrid in the big derby, and of course the biggest of the lot, and they play in the Clásico here. Look at Modric, a little unlucky there by Gomez, trying to pass the ball over the top of him. The hand come up and intentionally play the ball. It's always going to be given.
I know you're always one for the creative, but the defense of Alaves is one of the reasons they've stuck around.
Sure.
Pellegrino and Alaves, they have not allowed a goal in the opening quarter hour all season, and a league best 9 in the first half. It's the second half where maybe they start to run out of fuel. Hernandez steps over, whipped across, a chance here, but slapped to safety.
It's a good save, good punch.
Moving in low, trying to flick it on was Manu, but out comes the other way. Real Madrid off the heels of Benzema.
Magic from Isco. Beautiful ball. He's trying to jump over the top. He sees it coming to himself, but the ball just skips in front of him. Gathers a little bit of pace, it seemed, and he wasn't able to get out the way of that hurler from Isco. Outside of the foot. You're so right, Phil. It's only the top 5 home teams that have lost fewer games than this team in blue and white. The top 5, that's saying something for a team that comes up from the 2nd division.
Teo tried to sneak it in, but Ibai stopped his run. And it's upended.
He's fine. The flexibility as well from Pellegrino, as you are alluding to, Phil, needs to be lauded. He doesn't stick with a tried and tested formation. He'll alter things against the real glamour boys and the big boys, and he gets results with it. So full credit to the great Argentine man.
So if Kiko didn't get that, Fidal was flying in and ready to celebrate.
It's not like Mauricio Pellegrino hasn't been to some big clubs. He's went to this modest little club, but he's been at the great Liverpool with Rafa Benitez and Internazionale, Valencia, Estudiantes, Independiente, big footballing institutions there, and handling Alaves, he's been putting his wonderful fingerprints all over the team. It's a remarkable story and a wonderful, successful coaching stint.
He was the backline mate with Roberto Ayala back in the day in Valencia.
Now we're talking.
Chance for Bale from the left, swept to safety nicely by LaGuardia. Alaves, where he ended his playing career before rejoining Rafa as an assistant.
Christian Vieri telling me that Ayala was one of the toughest, nastiest, dirtiest players that ever kicked him.
A man after his own heart.
Bubble was a choir boy.
He's close.
But he did give it back. That's a good ball.
Pops up, driving it across. Isco lets it run, gets another chance.
Nicely.
Whips it back, drives it above the corner, but just never drops.
He's got a split second to make his mind up. He's got options on the inside of him, and he says, I see you lads, I don't need you. Wonderful from the bearded, bandy-legged little beauty. This is brilliant skill. Despite the fact that man there behind the goal recognises it, and he knows as well what a beautiful goal that would have been.
Word from the bench.
That control when he scored just gets poked away.
It is the left hamstring of Varane, and they will take a look at it on Tuesday with more tests.
Oh, that's not so bad. It's not good for sure, but if that's all it is and it's not his knee, then they'll take that. That'll heal quick.
turn it, but blocked by LaGuardia.
Benzema recognising he's got Danilo and Isco striking down behind him there. Just, again, cut out by this team in blue and white.
There's something to note. We talk about some of the other players who have blossomed under Zidane. I have to give credit to this man on the ball right now, Danilo. In many ways, at the start of his career, he was the punchline to a joke.
Fair enough. Good comment, Phil.
Now turning into a solid reserve.
Yeah. Benzema as well, always the first to come out, not just because of his countrymen, about the familiarity with his countryman Zidane, but Benzema saying, and Ancelotti was in charge, it was the relationship with Benzema and Zidane, it was very special, and really went on to win the European Champions League because of that. Great ball if it holds.
Cristiano steps over the challenge of Toquero. Back to his right foot, down low to the near post, but Pacheco down quicker.
Well, this is superb. When you see this in replay, watch how he takes Toquero and turns him into this little lollipop. Beautiful there from Ronaldo. He doesn't have many windows of opportunity opening. Modric is the one that's late arriving, but he's already got his mind made up, tries to sizzle it past Pacheco, but it's easily covered. But what a beautiful piece of skill out wide there. I mean, Ronaldo recognised right here. Look at how he's seeing Toquero come and then gets his scoop out, and the left foot isn't needed. Right foot, beautiful.
25-2 for Real Madrid. Only Barcelona have scored more, but 28 minutes in, and Alaves keeping them at bay.
Well, no scoreline, no goals, but tell you what, Phil, there's been some wonderful individual moments of brilliance out of his book, even by a lot of his players, but also some of them by the Babazoros. Good nickname, Babazoros.
The Beanbags.
I like it better, Babazoros.
Cutting back, Bale out wide. Pellegrino towering on the sideline at 6'4". Modric draws the foul.
Little rush there by Davison. He might have been able to win that ball back. Had the Levante Lone not being able to cause that foul.
40 points on the season so far for Alaves, and Ray, 43 tends to be that magic number. Sometimes it's lower than that, but 43 means survival almost all of the time. And think about this. They still have 8 games to go.
Well, they're safe, Phil, and barring an absolute catastrophic collapse, Alaves will be in the Primera of Spain next season, and that's a good thing. It's not a good thing there by Danilo. Comes across. Good tackle.
Rasa sending it out wide. Hernandez using his speed. Lucas's younger brother. Almost went.
Good covering on the inside by Real Madrid, but threat and danger every time this Alaves gets in advanced positions, and they're willing to leave their defensive holes, aren't they? Especially their wing-backs joining in at will.
As you talked about, Ray, very busy over the next month. 2 matches against Bayern and the Clásico and the Derby, all in an average month.
Tremendo.
By the way, hashtag Be in La Liga. Mahmoud asking what mindset should they go into this month. Tremendo probably does answer.
Absolutely, Mahmoud. You know, I mean, the mindset's got to be focused on every game, because the Liga title is within Real Madrid's grasp. But they've got the great Germans coming, Bayern Munich. So every game, Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, it's every game, these 9 matches, every one of them's got to be considered a final. That's got to be the mindset.
Chance for Carvajal.
Oh, he's in!
Top of the box for Benzema, and he will not be denied this time.
Magical defense! This But then when it comes to Benzema, his focus is locked. The target is detonated. Beautiful lead pass here. He comes in from an offside position, though, Phil, and maybe he should have been called back for that when we look at it again. But it's a catapult home. Right here, Carvajal pulls it back. Lovely little bounce. A fortuitous one. But the angle and the strike is tremendous. Good play by Carvajal. Brilliant from Benzema with his opportunity.
So arguably the injury to Varane helping to lead to that goal, as Carvajal getting the ball back to Benzema, his 9th goal of the season and the 4th against a Basque side. If you want to watch it again, facebook.com/BeInSportsUSA. 1-0 Real Madrid in the 32nd minute.
We look at it again, the lads at half-time will be taking a look, I'm sure, in the studio, and that lift up when the ball was played in to Benzema. Carvajal, rather, is certainly a suspicion of offside. His flag stayed down.
Second chance here for Camarasa, ex-Valencia youth player. Ball launched in. Nacho gets the job done. Good step up by LaGuardia, but Real was ready. Go to the goal scorer, Benzema. By the way, 9th goal of the season, and while he might pale in comparison to some of the others in the race for the Golden Boot, Ray, that's the 4th time he has opened the scoring in a game. He's drawn some fire with a lot of the fans of Alvaro Morata. It hasn't seemed to bother him. Nice from Danilo.
Oh, didn't get the final touch on it, though.
LaGuardia,
unlucky,
putting up a block.
So you talk about the stick that Benzema has been receiving. I think ever since he's been at Real Madrid, he's heard those sorts of calls from the great ball.
Over, it'll be a corner kick.
Wonderful invite from Gareth Bale, and he'll recognize that one. And take a look at this. That's an offside position that he's in. The ball's played into him, but then he comes back.
And near side, Miguel Martinez didn't spot it. You could see Rodrigo Eli lifting his hand, begging for the call, but this time they will get the handball against Mendes, Real Madrid. Referee on that, but the assistant should have seen it. Real Madrid will take it.
Well, regardless of the debatable offside, and it seemed to be that there's certainly Alaves would have an axe to grind there. The finish was, well, penalty box predator style from the Frenchman. Sharp as vinegar with his finish.
20th goal in his illustrious career for Real Madrid, and never seems to be enough.
Well, it's never enough for that man either, and the fans are never satisfied. That's what makes it the biggest, toughest club in the world to play under.
Ronaldo from 25.
It's a little unlucky here. This one, yeah, I know, I hear you. This one looks as if it's got net written all over it. And maybe, just maybe, Fernando Pacheco, the Real Madrid youth, ex-Real Madrid youth, might have had it covered. But I agree with his histrionics, as if it was headed in.
Goes from the corner. 10 minutes left in the half. Body's down at the back post, flipped on. Isco. Camarasa outside. Wrong foots it, drives it in, and Toquero off balance, still clears.
Guardia all over Cristiano Ronaldo here, and he keeps on holding him every time. That's all in wrestling inside the box, and it's right in front of the ref. When will it end?
Actually started to bark a bit. LaGuardia let go just in time. Danilo didn't get back in time. Throw in the other way.
English bookmakers making Alaves a 25-to-1 shot to win this game. Rather generous odds, but looks as if they might have got it right again. Real Madrid in the lead, and Alaves have went a little quiet after that goal, but that's what they're about. They're very, very dangerous on that counter-attack and get players forward, so Danilo knows he's going to have to remain focused throughout the rest of this wonderful game. Another hour of tremendous La Liga Santander football to be played out here. We have been entertained, and the Babazoros have really played their big part. Real Madrid, some of the players sparkling. This man especially for me.
Count out Alaves yet though, still just a goal down. Shoulder to shoulder forces the ball out.
Three men on him, and no support on the inside, nowhere to go.
If Alaves does come back, Ray, they would draw to within just 3 points of a likely Europa League berth. Lead comes up from Daverson against his native-born compatriot. Dangerous play.
Ball's away from him, but it's certainly a high kick, and there is Pepe in that vicinity, so the referee has no option. The referee saying that there's no chance for Pepe to come and head the ball.
Into the area, cleared away. Hernandez stepping inside with Fidal. Of course, Ray, Alaves actually has an easier way to get to the Europa as we take another look in a clear offside. Benzema. All they have to do is beat Barcelona in the cup final, and they will be in Europe.
Yep. Well, they've done it once.
Good point.
Oh, it just takes a little touch off the Quero as well, but
Is it hit Ronaldo? Oh. Out comes Kiko. And the foul called.
As we're looking at that replay, it's another dangerous counter-attack going direct, and I tell you what, Edgar's unlucky not to catch that a little cleaner. I didn't see anything wrong with the challenge either.
I think they did the same thing, lifting the boot, basically blasting it in, but he was taking a shot.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was a bad call.
Jose Maria Sanchez, his first year as a FIFA ref, his third in the top flight for the 33-year-old from Murcia. Promising future. Just got that one wrong, it seemed. 40th minute.
Danilo taking plenty of pages out of Marcelo's book here in this game. Replicating that high left wing-back role that the great Brazilian always occupies for Real Madrid and gives them such a dynamic threat.
Isco now back on this right side. Danilo with Bale wide. Position. Really. With some spin. And Kiko again anticipates well.
Without the speed of Varane, that one is always going to be on, and that'll be a big concern for Real Madrid. Without the speed of Varane, Sergio Ramos will bring a little bit of that, but nothing like the cheetah-like speed of the Frenchman, Raphael Varane.
In the center circle. Ready to come. We've got it on the Volkswagen halftime show with a look around La Liga. Some of the other news of the day. It has been an entertaining first half at the Bernabeu.
We've had to be shots. It's a good dress rehearsal for the big games, perhaps harder games that they've coming up against more vaunted opposition, Phil. Real Madrid having to play sharp and quick, and a bit of a tussle going the other way. Alaves still plenty of threat. So in that regard, a really good dress rehearsal this. Are they going to pass the audition?
Also drawing the foul against Danilo. Bale back on defense.
Good header.
Not just getting rid of it, but finding Isco in the process.
White man's on.
Close, trying to sneak it through, and he does get Ronaldo. Pops up, tries to drive it in, but Hernandez with the block.
Wonderful football from Real Madrid, from way, way deep, from that Gareth Bale header, Phil. This one going against Ronaldo, and he don't like it. But that was wonderful football, and it ended up with him having a great chance. Gareth Bale started out with that header that was knocked down to little Isco, and then all of the dominoes fell beautifully for Real Madrid. Cristiano was the thunder at the end of the lightning attack, and nothing at the end of it to produce the second goal.
Little flying out to get the touch before Campos.
Again, it's wonderful football from Benzema.
Bale takes a little off of it as he goes wide.
You feed him in again.
Benz.
Magical!
Leaves Daverson diving. Kelly again.
One target of fade inside of him there, Benzema. It was Cristiano, and Benzema just not putting enough weight on his final pass.
This time by LaGuardia high in the air. Shepherded out by Isco. Little side note, the goal from Benzema means Ray in his La Liga career, he's faced 31 teams and he's now scored against 31 teams. Hitting the bullseye against everyone he's faced. Thanks this time to Carvajal and an assistant who wasn't exactly paying attention. Bale. Modric. Still on the ball, but it pops up and off the arm.
Well, the highlight here is Gareth Bale. Wonderful play out wide from Bale. It arrives at Luka, and he's definitely trying to get away with a bit of Croatian LeBron James there, and he knows it. But wonderful play from Gareth Bale, pulling out two moves that were immortalised by Johan Cruyff, one after the other, and then setting up Modric with a lovely inside pass.
Everson draws the foul. Still time for Alaves to tie this one up before they head to the dressing room. Levi, another player plucked away from Athletic Bilbao. It's up on a free. Into the area, Kiko handles the challenge from LaGuardia. Isco dribbling through the forest. It's been nearly a year, April 26th, when Real Madrid went to the Etihad and were held without a goal. Now 50 straight games as they extend their Spanish record. Ronaldo out wide.
Good ball.
Into the area, Danilo off for Bale! And he tries to guide it home, but just wide. And he takes a hit in the process.
He steps through this beautifully. Danilo is magnificent. He gets a lovely little skeleton key pass from Cristiano right here into stride. Wonderful. Two touches, and it's nearly in the back of the net. Here's the first one. Here's the second. It's nicely covered. That's a nasty tackle on Gareth Bale, Phil, and his ankle goes over. Take a look at this, or look away if you're a Madridista. The bones flexing, and the ligaments, we hope. Yep, he's up and ready. Breed him tough in Wales.
Seconds of regulation ticking away.
And that looked pretty bad.
Well offside. Disciplined defense from Alaves. Again, only 10 goals they've allowed in the first half all season. Take a look with our 360 at what Karim Benzema was watching.
One bounce in front of him. He's got, well, that's just a terabyte of skill in a nanosecond. That one.
And that is going to do it for the opening half. Gareth Bale almost had a second, but Benzema gets it done. Real with the narrow edge over the visitors at the break. Alaves better on the road, but also tend to be a little bit better in the first half. So maybe the hurdle jumped by the league leaders. And Danilo
played well.
Looked good on the right, better on the left.
Played well.
Gareth Bale as well.
Played well. Everywhere you look. I mean, that one is probably going to be the most overlooked aspect of Real Madrid's performance is Kiko Casilla, Phil. He played wonderful parts in that sweeper-keeper position and came to the rescue with that back line a few times. So well played, Kiko.
Just about ready to get underway. And Jose Maria Sanchez gets us started for the second half. Real Madrid halfway home. Of course, if they do stumble here in the second half, it does open the door for Barcelona, who will be Messi-less this afternoon against Granada.
Well played.
Bill Shane alongside Ray Hudson, and glad you could join us today. Jose Hernandez, Eduardo Vizcayart on our Spanish language side. Match day 29 of 38. Of course, Real Madrid with that game in hand, which in some ways is a bit of a curse. Not only does it mean that Celta Vigo will be at full strength offside against Benzema, but Ray, as they continue to advance, they have scheduled that match just before the final game of the regular season. That one closer than the one that wasn't called for the goal.
That's right.
Now, by the way, they have Bayern Munich coming up. And Bayern Munich, the team that holds the European record with 61 straight matches with a goal. Mendes out wide to Toquero. Decent ball in, but Nacho read it first. Toquero again, but his header off the mark. So if Real Madrid is to beat Bayern Munich's record, they will need to score twice against the German giants. And if they are able to beat Bayern Munich and advance to the Champions League semi-final, Ray, that means they will be playing 2 games a week till the end of the season. Until their final match in Malaga, there will not be a day off. So I hope Zidane during this international break said, get plenty of rest.
Well, not just that, Phil. We make good points. Look out.
Everson in. Camarasa tracking it down. Looking for help. Toquero. 32-year-old Basque winger Kiko bumped, play on, driven across, a glancing header Davison, but it goes high.
Well, it's a hard one to get on target. Kiko's claiming that he got impeded here as he's coming out to claim the ball. Take a look. Lovely ball whipped in by Takero. Comes in, flaps it. It doesn't look as if there's much contact on the goalkeeper at all, but yeah, Davison. Yeah, take a look at this again. The two players coming together in the outfield position. There's nothing there. The goalkeepers shouldn't get special attention in that position. The bodies come together in a flash, but Davison there had a golden opportunity to stoop to conquer for the equalizer.
There's Ronaldo, long foot, looking for Benzema, but he couldn't control. Could have been another offside, but the flag stayed down. Mendes, harassed by Pepe. He'll earn a corner.
Good cover by Isco as well. Seeing that Edgar's one-on-one with the old man, and he comes to the rescue. Pepe is standing up lovely, good distance, good spacing for his defensive duty, and tenacious with the tackle. The old man got plenty of gas left in his tank, all right.
By from the right, decent ball in, but cleared away Danilo. Crowded schedule, if they do stay alive in the Champions League. 15 matches over the next 45 days, and the next break they would get would be leading up to the Champions League final.
All right, but this is Real Madrid. This is why they've built the squad that they have. It's all good players, keeping good players out in every position, Phil, and this is why Florentino Perez has spent the big cash. How many other teams in world football can claim to have an equally good player vying for that position? It's very difficult for the manager to keep everybody happy and the ship content, but that's what happens, and that's the way that Real Madrid's being built. You wait for your opportunities, they're going to get them, and we're seeing it here today. And it's never always going to be the same as the starting Gala 11, as they call it nowadays, where it's your prime team. But Bayern Munich, Barcelona to a lesser extent, certainly Atletico Madrid's another team that you would look in having good options when the star players need to be rested. Because you're right, it's a torturous test for these players in that short span of time. But it's a torturous test for the coach as well, to blend in the players that are fresh. Crowd sensing that Alaves have come out of the locker room with a real good sense of belief. It's a good ball, but it's nicely covered.
All the way over to Pacheco, the 24-year-old. Pacheco outlasting Kiko Casilla.
Yeah.
But then Casilla brought back after his stint at Espanyol. Manu, normally he's on the giving end of those collisions. It's an interesting team. Basically,
excuse me,
somewhat pedestrian for a while, then back near the turn of the century.
Oh, wow, that looked like a foul, and that's a late whistle.
And he is decked.
Yeah, this is heavy contact, whereas the earlier one on his goalkeeper, Kiko Casilla, was very little there, but this one is a serious collision. And upstairs, of course, it comes right in across the head of poor Danilo. It's Taquero. It was very hard, but it's going for the ball.
I think it's
the collision of two big men coming together like this. It's combative. There's no reaction originally from Zidane until his player goes down.
That's lost his air and also perhaps a concussion. You see Vasquez, he's actually deputized, starting under Ancelotti as a right back.
the players around him, and there was really no malice in Toqueiro's challenge, and I think he knows it, and the Real Madrid players even, there was no protestation. It was just two big, brave men coming for a ball flying right in between them. Letting the big boys play, but poor Danilo has had a fine game.
Again, considering the recent concerns in regards to concussion, he should be on the sideline for a while until the doctors say it's okay for him to return, which opens the door for Alaves. Trailing 1-0, no time for sympathy. So at the moment, Real Madrid short-handed.
Played his score. Tight confines, man on him. Wonderful skill. Bad giveaway here by Ronaldo. Gets it back.
Chance for Ronaldo. Doesn't need 10 teammates out there. Finds Isco. Behind bends. And a burst of speed from Teo the other way.
Poor ball that time by Francisco.
Hernandez with Carvajal. Carvajal with the push. The referee seemed to see it and a late call, but it looks like that might just be for the throw.
We saw something very similar yesterday, didn't we, Phil?
Atletico Madrid,
yeah,
in their match against Malaga.
All not within playing distance of Carvajal, leans into the player, but nothing given.
Again, as you pointed out, sometimes the big clubs get away with that. Similar situation a couple of weeks ago against Betis.
Oh, that's great play from Modric to Benzema.
For Ronaldo, the flag stays down.
He's in.
Danilo's back in. Ronaldo doesn't need him, but then the late whistle. The flag comes up when Ronaldo touches it. So it will be offside and a chance denied.
Benzema again, magnificent. He's well offside. From the original angle that we were looking at, it was a completely different look at it, but wonderful play from Modric and Benzema to set up that opportunity for Ronaldo, who was too quick.
Too close to Kiko. Getting back to that Real Madrid Betis game, remember the one where Keylor Navas charged out of the box and decked one of the Betis players?
Yeah.
Wasn't even ruled to be a foul, but well, there is no comment directly concerning referees and mistakes. It is of note that Antonio Mateo Laos, the man who didn't whistle, let alone pull a red card for denying the opportunity, is not on the schedule for a 3-week stretch. Well, so Real Madrid may be the benefactor.
The game's going to change, and it's changing right in front of our eyes.
Spain,
electronic eyes. This situation here today would have been another goal in point that would have been rolled off if video assistant refereeing had been permitted. It's coming.
Flipped on. Carvajal plays it back to safety. And again, in that Spain-France game, the first call with video review took away a goal from Antoine Griezmann, but it also showed that video review can add a goal, as Spain ended up getting one added that had initially been ruled off.
One problem with that wonderful rule, and I think it's going to happen, and I'm applauding it, but it's the celebration of the goal afterwards that's going to be taken away. I mean, you're going to be on tenterhooks whether to disco or not.
You'll disco anyway.
Yeah, you should, and then, you know, cry in your beer if they take it away.
Screaming for the ball in the middle, Mendes, but they'll have to take the scenic route. Near side, Toqueiro. Lights his way through Danilo. Into the middle, Daverson! He doesn't touch it to goal, and if he hadn't touched it at all, there was a chance for Camarasa.
Yeah, he's always going to try to hit this, so that's what he's out there for, Daverson, Phil. It's a brilliant ball from Toqueiro, who absolutely emasculates Danilo, and then provides this diamond of a ball, and usually the Levante Loanee, the Brazilian, is usually a lot more lethal than that. Poor header in the end, but Toqueiro, beautiful wide play, a great start in this second half for the blue and white stripes.
Here's Manu, who is charging in at the back. A good chance for an equalizer. Alaves not giving up.
Oh, you're right, Phil. I mean, Manu makes the run behind Davison in case he doesn't get to that. But you cannot expect to even call off Davison, especially as centre forward. When a ball like that is pinged into you, he's always going to try the jackknife header.
Still 1-0 here as we head towards the hour mark. Of course, beIN Sports Connect with plenty of action in Ligue 1. Montpellier, Toulouse, Nantes, and even with the Swiss Super League, Lausanne against Grasshopper on beIN Sports 10. Check it out, beinsportsconnect.tv. Ronaldo to the inside. Benz lays it back. It was for Modric, but Cristiano says, I'll take it. Bale as they try and weave their magic.
Good run by Gareth Bale. He's looking for the rainbow pass from Luka.
Alaves trying to shore up that shell. Spin off the touch. Davison with a second chance, but Pepe stepping up, the 34-year-old veteran. Of course, Danilo showing no signs of that earlier collision. Checking his run was Bale, trying to hold off Fidal. As you see, Casilla, ball just flapping at it. If anything, he bumps into Carvajal.
That's a simple collision that happens all the time outside in this area here, and it's contact sport, contact's made, and they play on. But when a goalkeeper comes out with his arms up, sometimes the referees take a different look at it, and it shouldn't be the case.
Team dribbling, Camarasa. Touched wide. Mendes now with a bit of space. Whips it across. Davison brought down by Carvajal, but the ball had sailed. Incidental, says the referee.
Davison's definitely looking for one there.
Sent back across. Met by Mendes. He tries to caress it to the back post and just misses two teammates.
Well, this is a Marge Simpson type finish, this. Marge Simpson, the target must be hit from that distance and that angle. If the goalkeeper saves it, no problem, but terrible, terrible. Great opportunity gone begging there.
And Kiko Casilla at his mercy.
Really?
Isco dispossessed. Mendes again, showing signs of that Fabrica class. An interesting history for Alaves. This is a team that wasn't even on the roller coaster. They were in line for 42 years, almost biblical in the second division, but they earned promotion in '98 and then quickly made it all the way to Europe and the UEFA final against Liverpool, an historic one, losing on a golden goal, an own goal against Liverpool, only to be relegated the next year. Thoughts on Isco, Ray?
Are you kidding me, young G Dop? He's fabulous. He's a wonderful player. He deserves more time, but getting that time in this club is a different aspect. He's probably been the most involved midfield player again here today, and that's not doing any disservice to Toni Kroos or Modric, who have been wonderful. But it's his industry, it's his cleverness on the ball, it's his vision. He's got the lot. Look out.
Here's Isco, sneaks it wide. Danilo looking to return it. Leaves for Benzema. Toquero with the nice tackle. Goal kick. They don't even dress James today, coming off of his Colombian heroics. And they do have Kovacic and Vasquez on the bench. It's part of that depth you were talking about.
Players, Phil, you know, but what a decision for the player himself, the likes of Isco and his agent. Let's see it. I mean, this is a player that deserves to be playing 90 minutes of football every week of the season. And it's no knock on Real Madrid. It's no knock on Zidane. It's what we were talking about earlier, building that stock of brilliant players to be able to call upon when the going gets tough or when the fixture list gets heavy. That's what happens, but it's hard to keep your confidence and have the same attitude when you come into the game. Look at the way Isco plays. I mean, he's such a wonderful fulcrum, and these big clubs all around the world have recognized him and say, come into my parlor.
Again, you think about it as it's swept down the line by Bale. Combining well here with Kroos and Modric, but they don't have Casemiro available, who also arguably deserves to be out there. In fact, you could say a player who probably deserves more time for Real Madrid isn't even in a Real Madrid uniform. In fact, isn't even in an Alaves uniform today, in young Marcos Llorente.
Yeah.
Part of the loan deal forbids him from playing against his parent club. Kroos in for Bale, but it will carry. And you could argue, based upon his form here today, he would be one of the better midfielders out there if he was allowed, the 22-year-old Madrid native.
Good young talent, Phil, but still learning his footballing alphabet.
Casemiro's deputy,
Alaves,
perhaps.
and certainly got that opportunity to strut his stuff with a club. I think it's a shame that he's not being allowed to play against his mother club.
You can understand.
I can't understand, so don't start it, Phil.
Morata, another one of those players who had to go away for some seasoning.
I don't like those opportunities when a young lad gets his opportunity to come in and show his team and his teammates just what he's capable of, and all the other addenda of what if this happens, what if that happens. I don't buy it. There's some clubs that do allow that, and they're the ones for me that should be applauded.
Atletico Madrid, they've paid the price. Chance deflected. Ronaldo challenging for it.
Opportunities not exactly galore for Alaves, but at both ends of the pitch there's been some really gilt-edged chances that haven't been converted here today, and it's still a very tentative 1-0 lead that Real Madrid have. Alaves certainly came out with plenty of fire in the belly in this second half. Just lately, Real Madrid's class starting to shine through, not more so than this man. Smart man, he's such an intelligent little player. Isco.
Who would you sit, or is it a case of just having too many good cooks?
Yeah, really is.
Touched wide by Manu.
It's an impossible choice that Zidane has to make, but it's why they're paying the big bucks.
Good position, Isco, but the header leaves a bit to be desired. Mendes for Camarasa showing some of his trickery.
A tackle.
Back on top of it. Camarasa, a youth player at Valencia when Pellegrini was still there. Obviously, he remembered something. Nice sneak through by Toquero. Mendes across. Pepe in the way. Back to midfield. Alaves.
Quick feet by Benzema. Unlucky.
Tiring a bit. And you could see maybe ready to make a switch. Zidane has not been shy about pulling Ronaldo when he thinks it's needed.
Oh, this is Mateo Kovacic coming in. Oh, it'll be one of the midfield lads, I would imagine.
Yes. Daverson, but he couldn't keep the shot down. Rams want a bit more out of the Merengues.
Well, Isco needs a bit of criticism here, allowing this ball to come in. He was easily beaten in that position. He's covered so much ground in this close to 70 minutes he scored, but I wouldn't be surprised either to see Modric given a chance to have a rest, but it's probably going to be Isco.
Benzema threads it forward. Cristiano Ronaldo trying to force him left, and that's why, as LaGuardia sees it sent into orbit. here comes Mateo, 22-year-old Austrian-born Croatian international. Luka Modric, the player coming out.
Yeah.
National team teammates.
I had a suspicion it might be Luka. Played well, no question. It's not his performance, it's just a rest for the last half hour or so. Good rotation is Mateo Kovacic, another Croatian gem with skill coming out of his ear holes. This lad, absolutely loved him at Internazionale when he was a teenager. You could see he was a burgeoning talent. And another one, Phil, as you say, knocking away at the door of the first team and finding it absolutely full of stars. Another good player coming in.
Oscar Romero, the young Paraguayan.
Good player.
Atlanta United almost had a deal for him till Shanghai Shenhua stepped in and tripled it. And the former Racing and Boca youth player moved across, but then China changed the rules. Only 3 internationals. So loaned out to Alaves for safekeeping. Before the match, the pregame talk from Mauricio Pellegrino said, "We've already proven we can play anywhere." And they're playing at the Bernabeu.
White man's on, good ball.
And a chance to equalize, but the bouncing ball into Kiko. Mendez is switched to the left. As Romero now out there. Marasa back to the young Paraguayan. Chopped down by Kroos. Quickly restarted. Almost.
In that type of afternoon for Alaves of almosts.
You have to be impressed, Ray. They don't have anywhere near the budget of Real Madrid.
Of course. We said in the preview, though, his team, the fist of his side with real threat.
Romero headed up and just off target.
Mama, this place went very deathly quiet as this ball's flighted in, and Manu peels away from his defenders like skin on a tangerine, but just kind of get the dexterity of touch. It's a difficult header. It's almost a back header. He does everything he can. It's a wonderful effort to find the top corner. Again, there's no chance of him picking the spot. It's just all instinctive. He knows where his angles are. Man, that was close. Real Madrid gone a little bit of a wobbly here now. They've lost their shape a little bit. The inspirational players, especially Cristiano, has had his opportunities to put this game away. But Benzema's went rather quiet as well in the second half.
And Christian Santos, the Colombian Dani Torres, and the Serbian winger Alex Katai.
I think Pellegrino like what he's seeing with what he's got out there, Phil, as well. The change that he's made is really been not exactly a compliment so far, but this team in blue and white really showing their stuff in good colours here today. Look at this.
Camarasa
Nicely.
Plunging in, Kovacic. Camarasa!
Oh, no!
Picked the wrong alley.
Camarasa goes down the centre where he's got his player to the left, wide open for look like an obvious pass, and he ignores him. It was a great opportunity for Alaves to have a full, good red-hot crack at Kiko Casillas' target there. It was well engineered again. This crowd, knowledgeable as they are, as criticised as they have been, can sense when their team are starting to fall away, and they make no bones about it, about letting them know. The boos and whistles have been circulating for a while. I see something promising, and Zidane a little bit anxious.
Let me ask you, Ray, I know how fond you are of statistics, but only one shot from Real Madrid in the second half.
Yeah.
Credit to Alaves.
Really, in that midfield area, been pinning them back.
Brave sign of La Liga.
It's been really as brave football There's not been anything direct about it. It's been pure passing.
LaGuardia.
Again.
Vaquero. Hoping for a run. It never came. Only one victory in their history at the Bernabeu. Came a little less than 17 years ago.
Pass. Again, cheap giveaways from Real Madrid is incensing this crowd.
Benzema holding and waiting. In for Kroos. Well, still holding in that central spot. Kovacic, who has deputized there as well, staying up front. Bale. Good work. Trying to use his speed, but too many men to beat. Amarasa trying to shield it. Isco plucks it away. Took till the 88th minute for Jorge Azcoitia.
Great challenge there. Sorry, Phil.
The only time they've won at the Bernabeu.
Great challenge by Zuhair Fadal there to block Real Madrid's attack. There's wonderful defensive interventions by this team. Talk about them good going forward. This is in this time.
And Danilo drops it back for Ronaldo, but his shot blocked.
Thought he touched it a little bit too much, Danilo, but he was touching it perfectly. Again, comes into Cristiano.
From the left. Looked on again, Fidal. Mendes labors to get over. And down he goes. Maybe cramping up or just sheer exhaustion.
One of those days for CR7. Danilo doing wonderfully well on this left side, driving into the box, and a lovely little touch. I thought he touched it too far, but great makeup speed for him, and then setting the table for Ronaldo, who was covered by Edgar Mendes' blue shirts again.
26-year-old Alexander Katai, first year out of Red Star Belgrade, coming in for the exhausted Mendes. Had a good match against his old team. A couple of chances, though, that he's going to wish he had back. On the ground, nice work by Kroos, but an errant clearance by Kiko.
What outlets did he have? I agree with him. Put it out of play. He got nothing to play it into. So take the safe way out, get it out of danger, way up the field.
A few shockers on the day. Sevilla held in the morning match. That opens the door for Atletico to jump above them to third. Real Madrid, again, that game in hand, with Barcelona yet to play. Everson showing some wheels, but no brakes. The two Brazilians, no harm. Final quarter hour. And Real Madrid still holding on to the goal scored a half hour in.
Tight game though, Phil, isn't it? It's an open game as well.
Alex with a question, hashtag Be in La Liga. Bringing in an Hazard or an Mbappe, how would they fit in? I think they're the type of players that would fit in anywhere, but they might find similar problems that Isco has. Would you still make a go?
It's Real Madrid's way. You get sign players who doesn't particularly look like they need the player in the starting 11, but it's not a starting 11 at Real Madrid. It's a squad, and they'll always look to enhance it. Good ball!
Drives it in. Ronaldo blasts it.
So unlucky. You know what? Target. His mama is looking down at him, and she loves him. And Mama said there'd be days like this. There'd be days like this. Mama said. This is one of them. Wonderful build-up play again. Sharpness as well from Cristiano to get in the right position. Isco's having to work like a demon on this left side in a defensive attitude, and I think that's why this lad will be coming in for Isco. That's the second prediction. See if that one works out.
Final substitution for Zidane as he tries to nurse this 1-0 lead. Changes in the way that television revenue has been shared, making a few inroads in making La Liga even tougher. Here's Katai from that left wing. Can't get the cross in, but he does get a corner.
Good run by Katai, driving back Carvajal, and good defending again, closing him down.
I want to hold off on the substitute to find out if Carvajal can continue. It looks like he will.
He's fine. Such a worrywart, Phil.
Hero back into the middle. Eli.
Nice. Magic.
Kovacic flicks it down. A chance for Benzema. Bit of a foot race, and he falls a yard shy.
Wonderful covering, though, at the back, wasn't it, from Theo Hernandez, 19-year-old. Athletic Madrid loanee. Talk about another team with a stocked cupboard of talent. Hernandez showing what the mattress makers have coming up through the ranks and sending him out for much needed experience on the battlefield. Still one more substitute for Pellegrino if he wants to go for it. Mention the fact they still have Christian Santos on the bench. You know, there's been changes, unquestionably. Real Madrid, and certainly after the international break, those sorts of excuses. But let's be honest, how impressed should we all be with this Alaves team? They've been absolutely wonderful today. Whether or not it's a moral victory of sorts, coming into the White House and playing this team, the world champions, the European champions, after were you in the second division last year. Spanish football, man, absolutely brilliant. And this is not over yet. And again, we talked about how they're in the top 10 and trying to stay there, and also beating the likes of a Celta Vigo and drawing Barcelona in the cup final. It's already been a great year. Sure it has. Well said, Phil. They're looking forward, and it won't be just a day out. They've beaten Barcelona at Camp Nou. They will not be afraid of the Blaugrana, but with his axe, going there with big underdog aspirations. Good ball from Isco. Bale has the speed, 4 back, but then it runs out of him off the touch. Crowd letting him know he'd expect better. Isco, is it going to be a little bearded one to come out? 10 minutes left to go, and here Ben's coming back from what appeared to be an offside position, but the flag stayed down. Real Madrid did not. And the goal scorer will exit. Oh, got that one wrong, but that's good coaching by the boss. Perhaps they let him know how much he is beloved. Great applause. Ronaldo will slide up. Bale will likely move left, and Vasquez will patrol the right flank. Everson to Romero. Quero back to the Paraguayan. We still might see Alavés on the scoreboard here. They've been the aggressors. In by Quero again. Wonderful question and pass into the heart of Real Madrid. Another easy. It took no chance or no problem for Casilla. Letting it run, LaGuardia. Well played. Quero blocks it to keep it in front. Hasn't played 90 minutes most of the time, Toquero. A lot of times off the bench, but he was asked to fill a role on this right flank today by Pellegrino, and he's been fantastic. Yep, he stated. And here he is again. Substitute about to check in is the Venezuelan by way of Holland. Giving him a lot to do here. Nice tidying up from Real Madrid. That's beautiful from Kiko Casilla. Well played, sir.
And Nacho as well. Let's go.
Magic.
Eludes the trap. Now Kroos the other way. Chance to try and put this on ice. No one in the center channel as Ronaldo goes wide. Back in. Carvajal keeps it alive. Chipping it for Bale, who lunges and hits net, but on the wrong side of the post.
Lovely passage of play from Real Madrid. Carvajal sends it to the back post. It's a nice invade, but he's got a lot to do here, Gareth. But if there's anybody can squeeze it in, it's him. Wonderful athleticism from the Welsh fire-breathing dragon.
And it looks like they've pulled out Camarasa.
Impressive game from that young man, Victor Camarasa. Remember the name, people. There's a lot to come out of that lad from ex-Levante, wasn't he, Phil?
Khalid asking us on the hashtag #BNLaLiga, other than the Clásico, what other upcoming games for Real Madrid possess the biggest threat?
Oh,
and
next
that's
week.
La Liga.
Atleti.
They have the Derby. They also have that Celta Vigo game, which has been set just before
Tricky.
the final game.
Tricky game.
And Sevilla as well.
And Sevilla's been on a little bit of a wobble, but it's Atletico. That's the one. You know Simeone's feelings about his next-door neighbours. Well played, little Isco.
By the way, there's another one. It's Kovacic with a chance. Slips as he shoots. Pacheco with good hands. Watch out even for that match in Gijón against Sporting. Because it comes between the two matches against Bayern Munich, and Sporting is fighting for their lives. Sometimes it tends to be the ones you overlook.
That's a good point, Phil. They're all going to be big battles. What a tackle. Played again from Matteo.
Kovacic. And as Alaves throws bodies forward, it should open a few windows. Vasquez out wide. Ronaldo with Isco. Ronaldo to Isco. Isco in the box. Isco to the goal!
That's my boy! That's my bearded, bandy-legged little beauty, Francisco! Francisco, Francisco, Francisco! Magisterial, nothing less, for Francisco Roman Alacon Suarez, better known as Isco. Magnificent! Astonishing accuracy, a cross between Arabia and a sledgehammer. A terabyte of skill produced in a nanosecond from those big, beautiful, black Spanish eyes. Here's your sketches of Spain. Magnificent finish from Isco. He knows where the goalposts are and he knows they ain't moving. A simple pass played into stride from Cristiano. He's got it all to do. The wonderful caress, that beautiful honey drip on the ball to send it past the un-Russian defender, LaGuardia. But he emasculates him. And he catapults this one home with a big bunch of Valentine flowers. Magnificent Isco puts the game to bed.
Isco's 7th goal of the season, and Cristiano Ronaldo more and more seeming to be looking for teammates, his 6th assist. Ronaldo now in the center channel.
Good applause to the man on the sideline, the big bully Frenchie. Keeping Isco in the fight, knowing that he's got the capability. I thought, Phil, he would be certainly pulled out earlier, Isco, but the great Frenchman Zidane knows better, and he says the kid stays in the fight, the kid stays in the movie, and he's produced a wonderful second hot water bottle. What a beautiful, sizzling shot that scorched the net, but it was his accuracy, Phil, and it was that first touch. When we look at it again, take a look at that first touch to set up the hammer blow. Marvelous.
Gareth Bale missed from near here in the first half. Ronaldo standing by. Four in the wall. Pacheco leaning to his right. Bale will take it. Bale off the crossbar and headed home. Nacho on the follow-up. And it's 3-0 Real.
Well, the beautiful game produces another stunning result for Real Madrid. A game that looked as if it was slipping away from them is now completely deadened. Gareth Bale again scorches the underside of this crossbar. A magnificent hit from Gareth that raises blisters on the crossbar, but then a diving header from Nacho mops up. Again, exquisite direction. Oh, it takes a deflection. It takes a deflection off the wall that we didn't see in lifetime. I certainly didn't. Or does it? No. It goes straight through. Well, I'm bamboozled. Looked certain as if it took a deflection, but by that one, it doesn't look as if it did. No, the trajectory of the ball is clean. It's a good fingertip save by Pacheco, who pushes it onto the bar. But again, Gareth Bale's wonder strike. And a great effort from the ex-Real Madrid youth, Fernando Pacheco, to save it. 3-0.
Not to be a wet rag as the ball hits the corner flag and stays in.
No, you can be a wet rag, Phil. Go on, I'll let you.
But again, from an Alaves perspective, if the initial goal by Benzema had been ruled off for offside and it's 0-0, they're playing these last 10 minutes a bit differently.
Yeah.
So this is, regardless, a deceptive 3-0 scoreline. But for Real Madrid, I guess you could still say a deserved 3 points.
Of all the words of man and pen, the saddest of these, it might have been.
Chance for Vasquez, in for Ronaldo, providing again, but over Bale.
3-0 result. Alaves really, for so much of the second half, had Real Madrid hanging on the edge of the cliff like Wile E. Coyote.
Santos out wide. Here's Katai. Nice ball forward for Teo. Hernandez with the cross, but it's deflected
Phil,
away.
We saw something similar from the great mattress makers yesterday, didn't we? When we were
workmanlike.
Yeah, I mean, they were in slumber mode for so much of the game, and then they hit the electric switch, and here Gareth Bale skips that light. Fantastic, with an absolutely superlative hit. It's over the top of the wall, and then he gets astonishing dynamic. It still looks as if it takes a deflection right there, but it doesn't. Maybe it got a whiff of some of the lads in the wall at Cologne, and the ball took the deviation. I don't know, but it found its way towards goal for him to do the mop-up work. Two bearded lads scoring. Well, Benzema's a bearded lad as well, so that's 3 beards.
You got to grow one?
I couldn't grow one if I tried, Phil.
Go for the Fu Manchu, though. By the way, the flip side of that wet rag is I think if it was still scoreless in the last 10 minutes, Real would be playing differently as well. You have to deal with the cards you're dealt. Romero in, snapped wide, and another close chance. LaGuardia just misses the runway.
Wonderful. This man's a good player. He's come on leaps and bounds since his Zaragoza days. And a wonderful stalwart of a defender, but everything about him feeds into this game. He's purely representative of the 100% commitment, the embodiment of it that Pellegrino has fed into this wonderful team, who is going away looking at the scoreline thinking, what happened?
Maybe a good cautionary tale heading into a cup final against Barcelona. Still alive. Manu coming back from an offside position, though.
I tell you what, Phil, Real Madrid's defense have been tested here today. If Barcelona's defense get tested in the same way, I'm not so sure.
They have shown a few wobbles this year. By the way, our man of the match contender, Isco. Last 6 times he started a game, Ray.
Yeah.
5 goals and 2 assists.
There you go.
Better than a goal a game. Chipped in by Romero, but off target. Headed back down. Pushing forward, Katai drives it across.
Lucky.
And Carvajal in the way. Manu.
Sounds even more silly now, but I'm going to say it anyway because people are used to it. I give full credit to this Alaves team. Take a look at this run. He's dictating the pass. But that first touch to set up this from this impossible angle over the top of LaGuardia, look at the space that he's got. There's nothing there. And he creates space. Einstein's looking down at him and saying, well, that can't be. It be.
And that is going to do it. 93 minutes, all that Alaves had. 3 points, 3 goals for Real Madrid, top of the table.
Wonderful performance in a wonderful game from both Presidentes. Looking down should be proudest punch of their footballing clubs. Different institutions altogether, but personification of La Liga Santander football. Magnificent.
On a beautiful day at the Santiago Bernabeu, one more beautiful than the rest. Isco, our man of the match, sliding this one in and nailing that upper corner with a shot that Robin Hood would love. Well, for Alaves.